we move into our final seeded championship race of the day. Thank you so much for sticking with us here at the New Balance National Outdoor Championships. This is going to be a very exciting race. We've got Forge Track Club, Severna Park, Irondequoit, Cow Harbor, Clarksville, Oregon Distance, Bobcat, Martian Elite, Lexington Elite, I should say, Raleigh Catholic, Tub Gator, Derby City, Legacy, Shore, and Robinson Track Club. And meet record in this championship girls 4x1 mile relay belongs to Purple Track Club at 20:03.82. They set that last year. They are not returning a team here tonight, but that doesn't mean that we are shy of talent and ability. There are so many fantastic teams returning here, so keep your eye on Cow Harbor, who were 6th last year in this event, 2044. They're returning 3 of their top runners, including the Wickard sisters in the form of Mia and Finley. Bobcat Track Club was 8th here last year. Madeline Cook, Mackenzie Cook, and Haley Kavanaugh returning from that team. And then we've got Raleigh Catholic. You can never count them out. Hannah Schaefer, Addie Mitchell, Maggie Witham. They were 4th at New Balance Nationals last year. Tub Gator 11th last year, returning 3 of their 4. Legacy New York returning several of their quartet as well. And then Robinson Track Club wearing hit 15. Another fantastic foursome, and they are returning the Bird sisters, Alexandra and Karina. But this is a very dominant early start here. And again, what's interesting is we have lots of teams with sisters competing, brothers and sisters, but especially on the girls' side, we got lots of teams with sisters, including PIP number 5.
Clarksville Track Club, I mean, they're returning all 4 of their athletes, but like you said, the sister, Lauren Vermani and Morella Vermani as well. They were 10th at New Balance Nationals out there just last year. But I think it says a lot when you have the chemistry of returning the athletes.
Returning the athletes and then doing it in sibling form, I'm not sure if there's magic that that compares to that. But right now, that is Clarksville Track Club. One of the 2 sisters we talked about, Lauren Vermani, out front. And she is setting the tone for the rest of the field. She's an excellent front runner, happy to take things on at the lead. And, you know, she really took things out over that first lap. She slowed a little bit, and I think that was wise. Got herself out of trouble, and then let the rest of the field catch up. Let's test them. Let's see what they're made of. Let's just take a beat. Let the momentum of the rest of the crew, like, show up with me and carry me through, and then make some moves in the back half of this opening 1 mile of the 4x-mile relay.
Absolutely. I mean, if we haven't learned anything already, is that these lead changes are going to continue to change. There's just so much distance for it to happen, really.
When you saw a bit of a bump there, in the lead, that was actually Raleigh Catholic, of course, in that distinctive blue kit. A little bit of a push there by Clarksville on the outside. That's Lauren Vermani, who is just trying to establish her position. She's sitting on the outside now as we have a lead change. Early days there for Raleigh Catholic was Hannah Schaefer. And now it really is 6 teams who have created some distance between them and the rest of the pack. And again, with the depth that we have in this relay, that is not unsurprising. We've seen records go down both indoors and outdoors several times over the last 2 years. And now in that pink kit, that is Vermani of Clarksville. And just to her inside, the Bobcat Track Club are the ones in the green shorts. That's Mackenzie Cook. Another set of sisters there. She will hand off to sister Madeline Cook shortly. 8th last year at these national championships in 21:02. Both Cook sisters plus Haley Kavanaugh returning from that team.
And right now still leading is Derby City That's Leah Pennick. She just has these long legs, and she's just been striding it out. And she only has about 250 left to go before she hands off the stick.
Well, this is a big move there by Derby City out of Kentucky. Assumption High School out of Louisville, in fact. And just trying to get a read if that's Pennick or Perkins. It was set to be Perkins as their lead leg, and just trying to establish exactly which runner that is. Regardless, it is a very strong push to the front. And she is going to hand off in the lead. Now, we should mention a fast charge from behind. That is Bobcat Track Club's Mackenzie Cook, who's making a push around the outside. But it will be Derby City with a fall at the handoff, but she is going to hand off cleanly. And for Derby City, it is set to be Brooke Greenwell taking up the second leg.
Kind of an awkward way to hand off, especially for a distance race. It kind of feels like she went into it like a 4x1 stick exchange. When the way to do it, you just run out, you turn around, you grab the baton, and you're good. But I'm happy that no athletes were injured by that one.
Things starting to pack back up here. After that really early opening lap, courtesy of Derby City. Now again, that's Clarksville, who has made their way back up into the mix. That is Alyssa Mattes, who is set to be their second runner. And that is Mattes taking things out, but check out hip number 15. That is Robinson Track Club's Ariana Lopez, who has asserted herself back in a very dominant position and now contesting on the outside with less than 2 laps remaining in this second leg.
Just lots of lead changes. But Ariana Lopez is now starting to make a surge. I wonder if she wants to pass, or does she just want to sit on Greenwell's heel?
Well, I think she made a really good move there, because she sensed that if she sat behind second at the time, that pace was slowing just a little bit. She didn't want to get caught asleep at the wheel, so made that move around and then tucks herself into that second position, poised to strike whenever she needs to. Again, this is not something that a 400 runner would do, but she is going to make a move on the outside, running the longer distance. But again, just kind of like giving a proverbial tap on the shoulder of our leader, saying, hey, I'm checking in, I'm here, and by the way, I'm ready to strike whenever I want.
Absolutely, but Brooke Greenwell is definitely not giving up the lead to Ariana Lopez any easier at all. So it seems like Lopez just wants to sit on her heel, sit right there on her right shoulder until she is ready to strike. But every time Lopez kind of inches closer, Greenwell accelerates just a little bit. She's a little bit of a jerk.
That's what you like to see. Again, if I were the leader, I would want to be sitting right where I am, forcing your competitor to your outside, but also being able to cover moves and just gain information. This is an information gathering session. You want to be able to take in what your competitor's doing, respond when they try to make a move, force them to the outside, keep them running that longer gap, and then be ready, again, conserving as much mental and physical energy as possible to strike when the moment hits.
And the moment has now hit for Ariana Lopez. They were literally shoulder to shoulder for that entire straightaway. But she decided to go ahead and quit playing. Let me go ahead and take it. Because she needs to set her teammate up for success.
So the most separation that we've seen so far in this race. And in second, in fact, that is Caitlin Perkins for Derby City, now being passed by Alyssa Mates of Clarksville. It continues to be Lopez up front, leading the way. Lopez for Robinson Track Club, looking very strong and in charge, and a big gap back. Battle is on for second, but this is all Lopez. She is into her final lap and getting ready for that handoff.
And as you can see, she is starting to lengthen that gap. She just went for it. And now the adrenaline of about to hand it off starts to kick in.
It is Lopez in the lead. Lopez running solo at the moment. She is likely to hand off in first, but there is a challenge from behind. Lopez starting to feel the effects of this solo effort. She is still running alone solo in picture, but just behind her now, here comes a big challenge mounted, and it is going to be Lopez handing off. Lopez for Robinson Track Club will give the baton to her teammate, but now Legacy comes out of nowhere. This is Layla Bouzri for Legacy, who has moved her way into second. So Legacy Track Club out of Shenandoah in Clifton Park, New York, and Layla Bouzri was part of that 9th place finishing team at New Balance Nationals Outdoor last year. She is returning along with Kerwicki and Lynch. And Bouzri now making the pass on the outside. This is a very dominant performance for her.
Now, like we mentioned, Kate, third leg is normally the one where they fall asleep a little bit, but we just saw from the boys who just went right before them, the championship boys, is that maybe is actually becoming the difference maker for a lot of these relays.
Well, that's certainly what we're seeing playing out. Look at the dynamic turnover of Bouzri. She is a woman on a mission, and she is absolutely running away. This is really fascinating tactics. Bouzri, the third leg runner for Legacy, and she is running away from Karina Bird. We saw Sister Alexandra Bird lead things off for Robinson Track Club, but this is all Layla Bouzri of Legacy, and she is increasing that gap with every step. Separation across the board now. Big gaps back between first and second, second and third. The battle on there for third. It has been an exciting day and now an exciting night of track and field action. The wind is blustering through the stadium here at Franklin Field. What a beautiful shot there of both the stadium and of our teams. Of course, this facility known for its background in relays. The Penn relays here held every year. This was an event that I had the pleasure of competing in, the 4x1 mile, as a member of the Duke track and field squad more years ago than I care to say. But I can tell you how good it feels. No matter how many people are in the stands, it feels amazing to be down on that track competing in such a storied event at such a brilliant history tradition stadium.
And under the lights as well. Sometimes I feel like some distance races are just activated under the lights.
I think that's absolutely true here tonight. And this has been a very bold and brave run up front for Legacy. Again, Bouzri running very strong at the moment. Look at that turnover. Serenity, that is phenomenal. She's running completely by herself. She's well into this leg of her race, and she looks like she's picking it up with each stride.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what you like to see. I'm sure, like you've mentioned, they got 9th in this event just last year. And I'm sure they left feeling proud of themselves, but now they're some girls on a mission. I was going to say a man on a mission, but no, like girls on a mission.
Girls on a mission, and that mission is one lap to go. She is literally lapping other athletes coming around. Again, This form is incredible. No signs of fatigue. Absolutely dialed in, committed, driving the arms, quick turnover with the knee drive. That's what you want to see. I mean, I can't imagine someone who could run a time trial faster than Bousri is doing right now. You're going to get a sense of that as she comes along the backstretch for the last time. There are 250 meters separating her from her handoff, and that's got to feel awfully good. So there you see another lapped athlete. So that is Oregon Distance Project, Hannah Pigman, who's a strong athlete in her own right, but look at how fast the leader of Legacy Track Club is running to move away from her as if she's almost standing still. That is phenomenal running, phenomenal performance, and it's going to be a dominant handoff here into this final leg for Legacy. Bousri is going to hand off to Riley Lynch. They were 5:10.59 and 4:59.72 for those opening two splits, and it is going to be a 4:56.56 for Bousri, who did all of that work completely by herself. What a leg and what a position to give to your teammate into that final anchor position.
And I know she is just feeling all of that momentum that her teammate just brought to her. And now you just need to close it out. A lot of the times, the last leg is actually one of the easier legs. Contrary to popular belief, all you need to do is to just finish out what your three teammates have already done for you and run your race. And that's exactly what she's doing right now. But it's still early. You never know. But she's looking excellent right now.
She really is, and this is going to be a really interesting final leg because, again, meet record belongs to the Purple Track Club last year in 2003. So at that handoff, we were 15:06.87. That means about a 4:55 final mile split here. That is a tall order, but Riley Lynch is certainly looking to secure that spot. Riley Lynch for Legacy. Lynch, one of the returning athletes from that 9th place finish at New Balance Nationals Outdoors last year. That's where they ran 21:02. Certainly, barring disaster, they're going to improve on that significantly here tonight. And it is a solo but very focused effort up front by Legacy's Riley Lynch.
And what a fantastic run from Riley Lynch. I mean, and what a track club name like Legacy. I mean, you gotta put something down.
You may as well make it good. And good it is as Lynch continues to work on some lapped athletes here. Again, hard to keep track of, but that tall figure is working her way around the track. So for Legacy, it's been a fantastic several performances. 5:10, 4:59, 4:56. What does Riley Lynch have in store? These runners have been getting faster and faster, leg after leg. What can they close in here at New Balance Nationals Outdoors 2025? As you said, only day one of 4 days of action on the track and the field. Serenity, we've got so much more excitement to come. But before we even think about that, we've got lots of action left on track here as we're into the bulk of this race. Less than 2 laps remaining for our leaders. And it is Legacy continuing up front. They're under some pressure here.
So here we go. Riley Lynch is going to hit the middle hand very shortly.
And this is an example of passing a lap team and then having them sort of link on to you and enjoy that momentum. But up front, Legacy has led the way from start to finish. And she will hear the bell. Riley Lynch 1 lap to go, 18:48 unofficially on the clock. Again, that meet record 20:03. That is under threat.
And I honestly can't even be surprised, Kate.
Well, we've seen record after record go down. Trackflation has become a cemented term that we are going to use throughout the weekend. Get used to it. It is real. It is happening whether you like it or not. And you better like it because look at the speed, look at the turnover, look at the commitment in this final leg, courtesy of Lynch.
And Riley just has continued to work on her arms and depend on her arms as the lactic is beginning to hit. Because she has taken this out strong and she has held it the entire time. Right now, it seems like she's just pretty much stepping her way onto that finish line.
In a class of her own, it is going to be Lynch taking home the victory, courtesy of her quartet of Legacy Track Club. What a run it has been for the foursome out of New York. Keep your eye on the clock. It's just going to be over that 20-minute mark. Again, meet record 20:03. They're going to be just outside of that, but what a performance by Lynch. They missed it by just about 2.5 seconds, but I don't think you could have asked for more on the day from this foursome. They look absolutely thrilled about it, and they should be.
Yes, they do. I mean, they worked for it. They looked great. Like I said, I mean, seeing in these relays, it seems like that third leg has started to become the difference maker, and that was with Layla Basiri. And they look great as they're taking their photo ops, as they should. A fantastic run from these ladies.
Raquel Landa led things off in 5:10:59, and then we had a series of 3 sub-5-minute clockings, courtesy of Krowicki, Bursey, and Lynch. I love this element of the relays. Look at that communal joy. This is how you round out day one of the New Balance Nationals Outdoor Championship. We still have some unseeded heats to come, but this was such a phenomenal performance by that foursome. And getting the job done, Legacy Track Club takes things home.
And getting another look at the start of this relay. I mean, they were just aggressive with it. And then there was that unfortunate fall from Bobcat Track Club, but it was all Legacy. They looked absolutely fantastic. It was Layla Bursey who was able to make the difference for her as Riley Lynch closed it out.
Another 40 minutes of action.
Barreling towards that New Balance Nationals finish line. As you mentioned, you get to take home that tape that you break, and I'm sure she's bringing it home for her team. There you see compiled results. Legacy 20:05.97, 20:13.13 for Robinson Track Club, and then Raleigh Catholic at 20:21.81 is going to round out your top 3 in the championship girls seeded 4x1 mile relay. We have 2 races left on track. Thank you for sticking with us today in this somewhat challenging but ultimately very exciting day 1 of the New Balance Nationals Outdoors 2025. We have the unseeded sections of the girls and boys 4x1 mile races.